My name is Abel Zode. I'm 24 years old. Up until the age of 10, I lived in Ethiopia. And then I lived in Kenya for a little bit there. I moved to the US in 2003 after a year of living in Kenya. I was more well off down there when I would live there because if you're middle class here, basically you're upper class there. Like once private school, like gated house with like guards. Big difference between like here and there is like one major difference for me is teachers are allowed to hit you there. I've gotten smacked in the face by the principal for not wearing a uniform one day. Yeah, teachers, if you missed a homework, you were put in front of the class and whipped with a ruler, or they would have you bend over and grab your ears between your legs. Kenya was a lot more corrupt at the time when I lived there, where we would be walking down the street and cops would stop you. The only way they would let you go is if you give them money. Yeah, and that's like a very common thing where I have an uncle that used to live here, went down to Ethiopia to like build schools, give back to the community. And one year he went back to visit with his family, check out the schools he had built. And when they were leaving the schools, they got stopped by a military jeep. They had him come out the car, and then they shot him dead right in front of his family. That was like 4 or 5 years ago or whatever. And yeah, so, and then I've had, I still have uncles and aunts that live down there, and then my uncle, because of like, there's just a lot of like civil unrest going down there between the government and the people of Ethiopia. They've had like, they've rounded up kids from school and just took them to jail. With my other uncle is one of them, and for no good reason other than just because they can. Or like I remember when we went back in 2011, they do blackouts where they would literally black out entire communities like for lights and electricity randomly. No, they just do it, and then all of a sudden, in the middle of the night, boom, all the power is off. But like, if you lived in the rich side or whatever, like, you wouldn't get that because you had money and shit. But a week's worth of the time we were there, like, we've had outage. Well, me and my fiance were supposed to get married in Ethiopia this summer, but due to the civil unrest, like over at a protest a couple months ago, over 200 Ethiopians were killed, and like there was literally a river that turned red because of all the blood. So the government is, they have little different tribes, basically, is the only way I can put it. The government is the Tigray tribe, and they're technically only like, but they have all the power government-wise. And like, there's the Oromo tribe and the Amhara tribe, and they make up the rest of the population, but they have no power in the government. Because of that, me and my baby can't get married.